Hello, friends. It's Saturday. It's time for some RPGs. I hope that you're really excited because I am. We've got a lot of stuff that's going to be just really great all weekend for you. Starting here with a good friend of mine, Nori. I've got a couple of announcements for you first, and then we're going to get right into it. Registration is live for Awesome Games Done Quick 2024. If you'd like to attend the event in person from January 14th through the 21st, go to gamesdonequick.com for more info, including attendee registration and hotel booking. Be sure to check out the schedule at gamesdonequick.com/schedule and let us know what you're looking forward to the most. Frame Fatales has its next event, Frost Fatales, coming up March 3rd through the 10th of next year. Frost Fatales 2024 run submissions and studio applications are now open for all women and femmes in speedrunning. Use !FF in Twitch chat or head on over to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info. Get your submissions in before November 19th. That's tomorrow. So hang out, watch some RPGs, have a good time, and then get those submissions in. We want to hear from you. If you missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows, be sure to check out the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and any bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help to support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns daily, consider subscribing to the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and then come on over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick to watch our shows live. It's always a great time. And after this is done, you've all seen it on the schedule. You will want to make sure that you stay tuned because we've got a special showcase of the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster speedrun by Sanjam. It's such a fun run. You're gonna love it. You've got the whole day's worth of programming just already mapped out for you. It's great. We've done all the hard work for you. Speaking of hard work, I finally get to show off and showcase really somebody who, if you're a longtime GDQ watcher, especially the mainline GDQs, this is one of those people that you'll immediately know his voice. He's a voice of GDQ for sure. Reliably beats me in races, which is great for him, bad for me, and just really an all-around great guy. Hey, Nori.
Hi, Tina.
You're going to do some speedruns for us today.
I am indeed. Now, don't take everything she said as truth. It's not always there, but
it's all true. It's all true, and it's all documented in video format.
Yeah, no worries. But I appreciate you having me on your show, Tina. It's my honor to be here for sure, and also going to be my honor to finally get to showcase this on a GDQ stage, which is great. Even though it's virtual, it's a showcase show, but I'm looking forward to presenting this game to you. It's very overlooked. Not much people know much about it, but it's an amazing game. So we're here to play some Indivisible. I think that's going to be fun. We're going to have some fun. Hopefully do some minor glitches. The major glitches in this game are well, you can do some.
Cheats? You're doing cheats in this video.
I'm doing some minor cheats. The major cheats, unfortunately, don't work out.
This is a cheat run. I'm looking forward to it.
For sure. But all right, without too much preface, I will go ahead and get us ready to go if you guys are set.
Yep, as soon as you're ready, just count us down.
All right, we'll get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So you can see there's a lot of animated stuff going on with this particular game, but we're just going to get thrust right into a boss fight because that's how an RPG really should be going, right? We don't have any context about what's going on. These 4 people are just facing off against these orbs, and yeah, we're just gonna mash buttons because that's what we do. Just really quick kind of preface on what the battle system looks like. If you're familiar with an old title called Valkyrie Profile, this kind of is an homage to that in a way, in the fact that you've got different buttons that control each of the characters, and then we're able to do things like combos and blocks. This is kind of a tutorial just to say, hey, by the way, you get a full pity bar, you might want to use it. And that's what we're doing. Doesn't work out very well for our characters here, however. And now we're fast forward 16 years in the future.
Good morning, Rod.
So here's our main character. This is Ajna. She's in 16 years old, basically. What the story will tell you, by the way, Ronald McDonald in the background there, don't ask why, I have no clue either. She was basically kind of adopted at this place, or at least we think so. Like, she knows that her mother died shortly after she was born, and her father has been taking care of her ever since. And that's actually where we're going right now. We got a training session to go to, so basically we're just gonna get there as quickly as we possible with a nice little rhythmic dash and the game's tutorial on how to actually block. So, not only is there defense or offense, but there's also defense that I'm missing already. Good job. Let's try that again. You get 2 different layers. There's a block like that, which is pink, a perfect block, which is blue. And you really want to get the perfect block because it also reduces damage greatly by comparison to just a normal block. After our training, we have a little spat with our dad. Dad goes running off. And then we've got to go chase him. I'm sure that smoke in the background is no problem at all. None at all. Music going out. That's not a problem either, right? No, I think we're fine. All right, here we go. Yep. No, that's a problem. Somebody had a barbecue and didn't invite us.
Rude.
Yeah, very. Right, so I'm basically just, we got to face kind of like our next fight here. Wow, he doesn't normally do an up attack. That's very odd.
Give up while you can.
Anyway, I'm wanting to end this fight with a specific setup, and that's what we're going to go for here, is basically to have him gather 2 rocks before I take him out. So we're going to try to end that way and not lose too much time in the process. Usually he's going to get 1 more attack in before I can end this. So hopefully this should be a good setup here. Here it is. Yeah, 1 more kick. Boom. All right, done. So those 2 have a nice sparring match verbally, and then all of a sudden she just kind of absorbs this guy. And she has no clue why. Neither does anyone else at this point. So apparently she can just absorb people now. First little bit of trickery. I'm going to do a little thing right there, which actually keeps me from going and being pulled into a mandatory fight there. It's kind of like an introductory, oh, by the way, these people will come out and help you fight whenever you get into battle. We don't have time for that. There's other things to do. Like, absorbing our next person. That's Rosmi. Rosmi is best girl. Fight me. No, don't fight me. That's fine. Rosmi is absolutely the best character in this game. All the sass. All of it. All right, so now the plan basically is that, the soldier we fought, he gave us information that Ravanavar is the one who's, behind all of the raids and things like that, and we're gonna go and try to take care of that. So we're gonna get a little bit of revenge. Our father is dead now, so we're kind of like on our own. Giving it right there. And like a good RPG that's action, we're gonna skip all the fights that we can. We'll take the ones we have to, mainly bosses. And that'll be just kind of what we do. Okay. Perfect blocking also gives you a bunch of itty, so you definitely want to make sure that, like, in a situation like that where he's hitting all these people, that I make sure that I'm only hitting the buttons that actually matter, so that I can maximize my itty gain for it. One more hit with either Ajna should be enough. Oh, that was off. All right, that was a little slow, but that's all right. Safe. We got the setup we want coming up for the first boss, or like the first actual real boss. We're running into these 2. They're going to teach us about these little red gemstones that are called ring soul. And we definitely have a number of those routed in the run. Those are kind of like how you, from an RPG perspective, kind of power up your offense, your defense, all based on that. Predicated on the number that you get, you go and talk to them. So first things first, we got to get 5 of them just for our first upgrade. That's what we're going to do. Along the way, of course. Okay, that's okay. Scary about that for a second. Wasn't sure if he was going to follow me or not. We're good, though. I'm going to try this little trick once, and if I don't do it, I'll do the backup strat. Yeah, didn't get it. You can jump over him clearly and not get the fight. It's really tight, though. And that's kind of like the old school original strat. It's a little slower, but easier to pull off. Avoid that fight there. And then we weren't able to do this when we first picked up the axe, about hooking onto the walls and ledges. So as we go, Ajna just kind of gets a little bit better with the tools that she's given and be able to do new tricks as she learns them. Right now, obviously, we're going to need these in order to get up here. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Gary. Oh. You. No. Come on. Okay, good. I thought I was going to bonk my head there when she didn't quite grab what I thought she was going to. All right. 2 seems low. I thought I was supposed to have 3 now. Ooh, that's interesting. All right. We'll see if that's a problem later. I don't think it will be. All right. So the rumors are that there's some monster out here that like eats people and uses their parts. Well, that would be this guy, Tindayar, who's very fast. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time here gathering extra rocks on Gar. I'm going to need basically him max out, which he can carry 12. And that's where we're going to try to get him to as quickly as possible so we can start going on the actual offense here. Meanwhile, I'll use Rosby and Ajna here to kind of put out a little bit of damage. This boss kind of has phases when you hit a certain HP threshold to start doing some other things. I think I've got everything I need, so we're going to go in now. The rocks just do extra damage on normal attacks, which is why I want to farm so many of them. Waiting for our Iddy to come back. All right, so this is getting scary on the HP front. Hopefully, I don't make any big errors towards the end of this fight, because we'll get a little bit of like healing when we get knocked out, but not a lot. And I'm going to try to get this set up next for, well, not this particular point, but coming up. I'm going to get his HP to a certain particular spot, and then when I'm there, we will go all out and hopefully skip an additional phase and attack. I should now push him off the screen, and we'll have like little babies to deal with here. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to get the HP set up to a specific point here. Almost there. Almost there. Not quite. I have to kind of nick at him a little bit here to try to avoid an additional attack. That should do right there. Oh, that's overdone it. Oh, wait, maybe I'm okay. Okay, good. We're good. Okay. He didn't go off screen. That's what I was worried about. All right. So this should be enough now to allow me to skip. Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, no. That's unfortunate. I missed a combo in that, which would have done just a little bit more damage. So now I'm going to have to deal with this for like 20 seconds.
Thank you for the bonus content. I know that you don't like to show that off.
Yeah, it's a DLC attack for sure. Yeah, I don't normally like to give DLC content, but that's okay. It happens.
Let's start the science.
So now officially the person that we picked up earlier actually joins the party. Ginseng is a nice healer. I don't really care about healing all that much in this game right now. But, you know, it's always good to have an extra body. All right, so we run into these soldiers who are basically on their way back to the base. Gar is betraying us again. Basically like, yeah, I'm going to bring this as a present to Ravanavar and make sure that, you know, tell them we're on the way. But we all get thrown in prison. And now we just kind of break out because, you know, she carries her weapons in her mind. So they can't exactly take those away, which is a great place to store your weaponry, I guess. All right. Not a bad first one. We almost took him out in one round. I don't think I've ever been able to successfully do that, which is a shame. All right, everyone gets a nice level. Ajna loves breaking things, and we're going to do a lot of that. But realize that we're now really high in the air. So this place is actually a flying fortress. It's not just something that's on the ground. So he finds out that breaking out of prison isn't all it's cut out to be. And as a reminder, we needed 5 of these to go away. So they are just saying, hey, you have enough to come get an upgrade. So please do that. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. all we need to do is just talk to her. So the female there, she gives offense. The other gentleman there that's there gives defense. So you can kind of pick and choose. Each one has a different level. So like our next upgrade, we won't be able to get offensively until we get 20. We aren't going to go for any defense. So we're basically going to be farming up our next 20 ring cell. And then that'll be the next time and the last time that we talked about this. Asha's now bent on going after Ravanavar. We just gotta basically get there. This will be kind of fun. You get to kind of learn some additional things that go on with this one, like Asha's sliding ability to not fall off of ledges, like she just decided to do there. And we're gonna help out this guy who kind of flagged us down earlier.
Again?
I'll show you my best moves, Asha.
This is Zabay. Zabay is amazing.
One protector coming up.
Thank you. I want Rosny. Thank you.
There. Behind that.
He is, I guess I should preference exactly. So when we talk about the generation of Iddy, there obviously is blocking to be able to do that. It's very important that you try to build as much as possible. It's kind of funny that in my casual playthrough of this game, I kind of was one of those people that was like, oh, I can't use that. I'm going to need it for this, that, and the other thing. And I kept hoarding it, not realizing just how easy it was to completely recharge the gauge like all the time. So I was, it was a very slow playthrough thanks to that. Just kind of, just again. There we go. Whew. Better to do that than get shot in the face and sent all the way back to the entry there. So there are certain characters in the speedrun community early doors basically did a lot of analysis on like who was the best ones at generating Iddy. And, making sure that, at certain times we were using those particular characters in order to make sure that we were getting the most out of our offense. Zabay is one of those characters that's kind of like all the time in party. He generates so much, it's actually worth having it. But there's a caveat to that in that you've got to do it from a specific way to make sure that it's actually worth the time to do it. It's not enough, okay. That is. I don't like the way that fight's set up, so I'm just going to do this. Just kidding. So that's a little trick that a couple of friends of mine were messing around with there to kind of glitch it out. That used to be a, how do I want to put it? It used to be a mandatory fight, and before it was skippable, 100% skippable, but a patch that they did made that fight mandatory. And then while we were looking at like ways to optimize that fight, if you took out the middle guy and then restarted the checkpoint, it does kick in the cutscene, but then because the guy is technically gone, and that applies to all monsters, like whenever you kill a monster, they never reappear at the area that they are. So if you take out that guy and then restart the checkpoint, before he lands on the ground, you target somebody else, then the cutscene goes off, but then the guy who spawns everyone is no longer there. So you get a free pass. Much quicker than actually fighting. It's a good thing.
Don't hate me too much.
I could have gotten more Iddy there. Should have waited just a little bit longer.
So now that we're in another slightly larger fight, now's a great time to explain for anybody who hasn't played this game yet. Hey, you should. It's a really fun game. What is Iddy? It's this resource you're spending, and you recharge it. How? You were saying by blocking?
Blocking is one way. Certain characters like Zabay, when I do an up attack, and I should kind of preference that, like whenever I'm hitting these buttons, I'm also doing like a directional input, like an up and A for Zabay allows him to go up in the air and then rain arrows down. If I do an up attack with Ajna, she launches the monster with an axe, which makes them up in the air, and that is a great way to actually generate Iddy, is with aerial combos. So I try to do that wherever possible, especially with Zabay involved, because the arrows that hit them is where the Iddy comes from. So each character has like a certain amount that they do and things like that. But for sure, like you just got to learn kind of the timing of all of this in order to get the most out of your combos, those kind of things. So we talk about that. Blocking is one way, and then obviously your offense is another good way, but only certain characters are better at it than others. It's kind of a challenge when it comes from a routing perspective. So I hope that answered that question. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that answers it nicely.
Nice. All right. Well, so we took down the engine, and this place is falling to the ground. And you'll notice I have like lesser gravity outside, which is funny because it doesn't work on the inside. And I'm pretty sure that's not how falling objects work. But, you know, I could be very wrong about that. But we were able to obviously do higher jumps because
It's how it works. Otherwise, they couldn't put it in a game.
I guess you're right. Maybe. At any rate, this is Ravanavar. This is the guy we're mad at. And so we're here to get a little revenge. And this guy is voiced by one Lieutenant Worf. So they didn't exactly go cheap on the voice acting with this. Zabay is also done by Matt Mercer. Like, there's actual, you know, real voice acting here. And actually, one thing I'll talk about the voice acting, it was directed by, and she'll have a part later in the game, but yeah, Christina V is the one who actually directed all of the voice acting. So as it goes to like the cutscenes and things like that, you get really amazing content because of it. Walking, let's go.
Show me your true power.
Knock it off.
A little later, Nori, a little later. Oh, he doesn't have an attack still. Wow. Oh, he does.
I'll bury you. It's over.
Also, the point of like the main point of like perfect blocking is that it allows you to get your attack tips back way quicker. So it is really good to kind of learn the timing and how to block these attacks. Because it just works for your benefit in regards to like getting the most out of your fights here. Sorry. Trying to focus. Some of these attacks are a little tricky.
Don't hate me too much.
All right. Cutscene. Thank you.
More.
No more. Kind of getting a preview of what I'm going to be doing with them in the future as well. But like the vast majority of the fights are going to look a little bit like this for as long as I keep this particular party. Wow, he is really going for the actual perfect block only attacks right now. Should have went in with Russian here. Should be done now. All right, so we beat him up. He's like, hey, you are exactly what I'm looking for, because he's been scouring the world trying to find people that actually do carry Itty. So it's like a known source of power. And he's been looking for people that have it. That's why he had some prisoners within there, things like that. They were qualified enough, and then like the lesser ones, they become more of like his frontline soldiers.
We'll watch over you.
I don't want to
Let's go on an adventure.
So we beat him up, but he's like, hey, you are exactly what I'm looking for. If you want to know more about yourself, follow me. And he's taking us to this place called Mount Sumeru. Mount Sumeru is a notorious place in this realm, as it's what's known as the home of Kala. Kala in this universe obviously is the goddess of destruction. And he wants us to meet him there. And kind of see where this is going, right? But for the most part, it's just a nice platforming thing. You're going to start to learn some new elements here, and then you just try to do them as quickly as possible. And you're going to see that happen once or twice, too. Ajna just likes to not move. I always refer to her as like steering a semi or the Titanic. Sometimes she just stops. And it's really painful when it does, because it usually gets me in trouble. But we'll try to avoid it wherever possible. I'm avoiding all of these fights, obviously, and we'll just keep going faster. And I won't say that I'm like the best at some of this stuff. Like, it looks like this is all really fast, but I might do something that's a little bit slower here and there. Just because I'm not comfortable with either the thing or, oh, geez, okay. Well, that's the first time you see that. So yes, there are instant quote-unquote death pits. And this game's a little glitchy in regards to like getting things back. You never trust how long it's going to stay. Like in that case, I had to wait just because I didn't trust it. If I went for it, it probably would have disappeared. And that would have been annoying. Decided to just kind of go ahead with it or let it do its thing and then go for it normal. But one thing I do like about this game is the platforming too. Like, you know, for an RPG, it's got an awful lot of platforming in it, and the platforming is difficult at times. And that's, as a person who does mainly speedrun platformers, I find that to be extremely satisfying. If you have an itch for that particular bit as well, then feel free to go for it. Spawn that guy properly. Oh gosh. And there's Ajna momentum striking again. I don't know why she does that. This is a bit of a tricky bit of platforming to save a little bit of time. Basically just cuts a cycle out there before we get out of there. There's a slightly, I'm not even sure if it's faster, but there's a little trickier one that you can do up the left-hand side that I don't personally go for myself. Nope. See if we can do this little thing. Gotta save the axe for that part. I guess I just talk about that a little bit too. So why I had to wait there is because I used the axe early. In most cases, in aerial stuff that you're doing, you only get one attack of the thing before she has to land and kind of get everything reset. So like me using the axe there was kind of a problem because I wouldn't have had it at the top when I absolutely needed it. You just kind of have to plan out your movement just right in order to make sure that you're able to get up and do the things that you need to. All right, we finally caught up to this guy. Ajna is going to successfully get what she wants. Off with his head. But, whoops. Apparently he wanted that. All right, so this is one of the major RNG elements that I have to deal with in the run here. What I want to see Ravanavar do is an AoE attack. The AoE attack hits all 4 characters, and as long as I perfect block, then, you know, everyone's going to get their attacks back, everyone's going to get their pips, and I'm going to get a bunch of itty. And for that, I'm able to then keep these combos going. So I really want to see the AoE attack every time he goes, and it just never works out that way because, you know, RNG's got to be RNG. And like all other monsters, he's kind of got a threshold. So about the 50% mark, he's going to kick us out. You can actually go, if you're really lucky on the RNG, you can take his meter down to like where his name is. And it's really funny because then at that point, he has to basically skip the second phase that you're going to go into. He just kicks you out immediately at that point, which is very nice. Unfortunately, he didn't give us the greatest of RNG, so we're going to have to go full cycle here. And do a little bit of Mario dodging of the fireballs here. We chase him back down. This is bad RNG. This is going to be a very slow round. So I won't be able to fill him up on the second one to get a second one. Ah, Ravanavar, please. This is pretty standard. Also, for those of you playing the home game, yes, Ravanavar's name is a palindrome. You didn't notice. Not with the Maha in front, obviously, but the base name. Now you give it to me. Ay. I didn't juggle him in the air. It's fine, he's kicking us out anyway. Off to phase 3. So we got to keep following him around. He's basically leading us exactly where he wants us, I think. Used to juggle myself up on those fireballs. I found out that was so slow. So I decided, use the 2 that are there, and then we'll just take the rest of it as normal, and it seems to go a little bit faster.
But those 2 juggles do save time over
it's like
what you would have to do
either
otherwise.
do that or you sit there and wait, and it's really kind of a wash. I just have fun doing the little bit of a juggle myself, personally. We're almost done with this. He's... Oh, good. Now he wants to do the thing I want him to do.
I'll bury you. It's over.
All right, this should... If it doesn't take him out... Okay, good. I was going to say that should take him out. So he's happy. He's like, you've done exactly what I want you to do. I brought you here because you're going to help me release this thing in the background. There's MASH session, and Ajna suddenly freaks out. And we have now reawoken the goddess of destruction. Whoops. Per Ravanabar's plan, because that's what he wants. So now we're really worried about... Well, we don't know much about what happened. We wake up a few days later in this cave. These people were all in Ajna's head. They're like, please let us out before we go insane. And Tarani here, who's best mom, period, best mom, has kind of revived this. Her water from her hair, believe it or not, is actually extremely nourishing to life.
I guess we can't.
So she's kind of resurrected us. Not really resurrected. We weren't dead per se, but it healed us, you know, and maybe helped us. And then she's like, I kind of know a little bit about what you're going through. So... I'm gonna kind of teach you some stuff here because this windstorm has popped up. We can't move on, and you know there's a lot of division in the party at this point. Obviously, Zabay, he's a protector of the mountain that we were just on, and he's mad now because obviously we've unleashed Kala upon the world, or at least we're pretty much have started to, and he's not happy about that. Kushi is kind of a protector in training, so. She likes Ajna, but she's got to do anything and everything that Zabay basically says, since you know he's in charge. And unfortunately, now Dar is kind of like, wow, that guy was a father to me, and he basically didn't care who or what I was about, and is kind of like sad. Ginseng and Honey, they're totally okay. Rosmi's totally cool too. She's like, I like that you cut that guy's head off. That was my favorite part, and you'll understand why Rosmi is. Considered what I call best girl, just because she's so snarky, but she also likes all the gross stuff. It's great, just learning all the character dynamics. Light route here for Ringsel. Hopefully I don't get pulled into a fight. Okay, that works. And it's just gonna be some tricky platforming. So this area has gone through a lot of changes. I guess I can talk about some of what's going on here. We're about to do soon-ish. We're about to do a little bit of like two controller, one player shenanigans. There's a guy currently in the Discord who's routing out New Game Plus with 2-player shenanigans, and you can actually skip after this cutscene the entirety of this area, which obviously would have to change some things future state, but. By using 2 players, you can juggle Ajna in the air to the point where you can actually get over and above like what's going on and move on to the next area. I'm not going to do that because doing it on 2 controllers isn't easy. This guy's using like a macro and a keyboard to be able to do two characters at the same time. Since I'm not much of a keyboard player, I have to use controllers. I'm going to kind of do it this way, but we used to have to kind of go through this normal until these 2-player shenanigans popped up, which was one of the last patches that we got out of the game was adding that function. And I'm going to use that to my advantage to hit a trigger early, which is going to allow me to not have to go all the way around in a big circle, which is very nice. First things first, we got to do this really quick. Hit a trigger off screen there. And we're going to backtrack instead of going that way. Normally you'd want to continue around that way, but because of the fact that we now have this multiplayer stuff going on, we're able to do a little sneaky sneak here. So I'm going to grab my second controller, get Kushi in position here, and hopefully get this. Oh, that was late. She's able to throw her bird, which hits tail off screen. I'm doing that too early. There it is. So now that I've done that, that hits something that happens way later. And we'll just turn that back off. Use this opportunity to get the character that I need in for the upcoming fight, and we're on our way. A little bit of backtracking. So this is totally allowed within the rules. I brought this up to the mods' attention because they really weren't thinking about it much. As like, does this count as not allowed or not? They went ahead and they allowed it. What they've done in the leaderboards is they've added kind of like a thing of did you use 2 players or not, basically, as part of the run. So it could cause some maybe vision in regards to categories, but at this time, there's really not enough runners for us to really think about it at this point. As I'm kind of like the only active runner at this time, the other 2 haven't been at it for a while. And obviously, Mamekuro-san has an extremely good time, even without using some of the strats that I'm using at this point. So, I guess there's an advantage to using keyboard in battle because it's easier to maybe do some of the combos that I'm not able to do as easily on controller. But
Speaking of those combos, we've seen a couple of really cool fights so far. How tight is the timing for maintaining those combos? Because you've done some pretty cool looking juggles.
I wouldn't say it's super tight. There are some other ones later that are a little trickier. But for the most part, it's very, very easy to do. The early game, I'd say, is kind of the harder part of making those aerial combos stick. So like when Ajna makes something airborne and then you get Zabe coming in with the arrows, you notice I launched Zabe first and then took Ajna afterwards so that we could maximize the amount of damage and the hits that we were doing in the air with those particular 2. But beyond that, like as the game goes on, it's going to get a little bit easier just because the way the characters operate, you are able to not have to do like the up down kind of thing. It kind of becomes a mash fest, which makes it easier just because I hate that attack. Sorry. That's what I wanted to see. I let Ajna get hit there on purpose to bounce me out so that I can get another round in without him going away. And then when we talk about this particular one that Rosmi is doing, like the timing for this one is a little tricky because if you go too long, it counts as kind of her doing the spooky, I'm going to slow you down attack rather than that. So launching that idiot attack is rather tight to not waste a valuable pip for her because it takes a long time for her to get her attacks back. So as I do the down attack to get her to rush in, then I can launch that right in front of the monster, and that does more damage because it does the up attack and then the down attack afterwards. If you were to just launch, Rosmi would launch the fire from where she's standing and obviously wouldn't get any damage, but it would come back down on their head to be able to actually do the hits there. I'm so bad at that attack. It's early.
So while this is going, if I wanted to start running this game, tell me about resources. Where could I find out more information about the run itself?
We do have a Discord for the Indivisible community that exists out there. There's a lot of like pinned stuff and like older messages. You'd have to go through there. I would say that at least right now, I'm probably the most solid resource on everything that's going on with this game, and it's still.
So I should just follow you if I want to run this game.
Yeah, I would say like at least start there. I can give you the link. Obviously, we should have the Discord on the speedrun.com page for sure. Obviously, you can definitely go there, but there's not many people still around. One advantage that you get with this too is that this game does have a DLC pack that also includes ILs, and that one I have not done. I'm not much of an IL runner myself. But there is a resource within there, and the runners of that have done a lot of work to try to optimize those particular pieces. But I certainly can answer pretty much anything you'd want to know, at least to get started. And then I would not say that we're fully optimized. I think this is still very much a run in progress. Whether we can get the sub 2 or not, I think is a big question. I feel like there's one more major strat that probably needs to be found out in order for that to occur. But for right now, the lower 2 range is kind of where we all sit. I've still got quite a few minutes to try to catch up with Mamekuro-san if I can. And if Mamekuro-san comes back with these new strats, probably could get really, really close to that sub 2. So yeah, I mean, follow me on Twitch. Obviously, you can ask me questions there. Find us in the Discord. There are a few people that still do check it, myself included. It can certainly get you started as well. So that would probably be the best 2 resources that we have right now. Do we have an official route written down? Not particularly, but we do have a lot of resources around like the Giddy generation, the different characters and their abilities, those kind of things. And then of course, just some goofing around with particular strats. And that's where you'll see the development going on right now with the New Game Plus 2-player route that's being developed at this point.
What?
So everyone wants a boat. There's a blockade going on here.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why I just mashed through that text instead of skipping it like I've done everything else, you can't skip it normal. It's random. Don't ask me why, but there are just some cases where you're not able to use the skip button. And that was one of those cases that I had to actually mash through the text instead. All right. So we've been told to a really smart person here in the Tower of Wisdom is probably our best resource in regards to finding out more about the strangeness that's going on. She's attacking us as a test,
Well, that's definitely.
but she needed to see it. She's identified the power that we leverage as Kala's power. So now we're a little concerned. Like, she's known that she's 16 years old, didn't know her mom, didn't really know her father other than, the fact that he raised her to be, I guess, defensive and how to fight and stuff like that. So she's now on a kind of an adventure of discovery. And what that lady did, who you might have recognized from the opening fight scene, has taught us is that there are these gates, and we need to go and find all of them, or at least a couple of them,
I heal bodies and
in order to kind of progress forward. Just doing a little bit of juggle action here.
Annoying.
Irani is an excellent what we call battery in regards to generation of Iddy. So I'm using her at this point just for the sake of that. She's not the most strength. She's not the strongest as it relates to offensive power, but the fact that she can generate so much Iddy with her little attacks goes a long way to at least keeping the offense going. Between her and Zabay, we should have plenty of Iddy to work with. Now the soldiers are obviously out to get us because we caused trouble. There. Nope. All right, now we just so we picked up that pirate lady. She's got a boat for us, and we just need to obviously break the blockade
Special delivery.
in order to use it.
burn bright.
Get off.
Ow, that's great. Oh, that wasn't enough. That's unfortunate. All right. Obviously, breaking defense, great way to get a lot of Iddy too. So we try to take advantage of that for the ones who guard like this one. Nice, good finish there. But they brought a tank. I'm leaving one pip on Rosmi in case, just because I want to make sure that I'm able to do that level 3 when it becomes available. Because it does take a long time again for Rosmi to get her attacks back, so it's really good to leave that one in reserve just so you have it. Ow. The attacks with her, so I have to just set up a little bit differently. Oh, whoa, you snuck an attack in there. Sneaky. I had to react to that one really quick. I thought I saw it, but I wasn't sure.
Don't hate me too much.
Okay, that was enough to kill. Wasn't sure if I needed to use Rosmi's level 3 there or not, and I didn't want to launch it if I didn't need to. All right, so we got the blockade broken. Outside here is going to teach us a few other things with the spear that she gave us, like how does pogo, and then we get access to her boat, the Teatol.
Here it is.
She's very proud of this boat. Can't say as I blame her. All right, so we're gonna start exploring more of the world. Ashna's only obviously been in her town and things like that, so she's already learning and seeing all kinds of things that she never thought she'd get a chance to see. Once I get to this point, I do need to focus just a smidge. This is a really tricky bit of platforming I gotta do, just to save a little bit of time here. Got it. Nice. Let's go. All right. So we're now in the Iron Kingdom. These are the ones where the soldiers from the previous town come from. They had basically kind of moved in, took over exactly what was going on in that particular one. So they're becoming rather invasive. They're becoming aggressive to other nations. So we've been told that there's a gate here, and that's really all we care about. That's what we're going to be looking for. But you get to learn a little bit about this place. I'd say it's modeled more after like London, England, those kind of towns and things like that. But very industrial. Pop over here really quick and snag up another character. This one's hidden, but he is going to be, well, you'll find out. I'm not going to spoil this guy.
There's work to be done.
Latigo is by far probably the strongest thing ever. You'll see when we actually get a chance to use him here shortly. Now that we've gotten that particular one, we're kind of done here for now. We could certainly do more, but it isn't worth our time to do it. So we're going to use this as our opportunity to backtrack, get out of here, and go to different locations, just for ease of doing some things later.
Wait, how did...
Obviously, we got to learn a couple of different other skills for that ease. So we're going to do a few different things. I got pollution. That's what this pink goo is. Oh. Whew. Thought I was getting into a fight there. That would have been bad. That would have sent me back to whatever the last checkpoint was, which I believe would have been after that soldier fight. So trying to avoid that if I need to. All right, so that's it for this particular area. We're going to move on to probably one of my favorite spots in Canul. Love the music in this coming area. The atmosphere is great too. So definitely sit back and enjoy this particular part coming up here. Get past Ajna going rar, rar, rar everywhere. Ring souls along the way. I know better than to do that. Always eat that face full of spikes because I forget I'm not supposed to dash off of that platform. Right. Skip there. Gotta jump over the froggy, and we're moving on. All right, so this is the character I think that's probably got, at least from my friend's perspective, probably the most divisive character in the entire route for me, and that a lot of people want to make sure that we get rid of her somehow. I don't know. I like her a lot. She's good in that she doesn't do much damage, but she helps set up a lot of like itty generation. So as much as everyone wants her to go back to bench status, I'm very reticent to do so. So I kind of keep her in the route at this point. And again, can't skip this dialogue with the normal button, so I have to mash my way through that one.
There's a whole world.
I'm gonna put Nuna in. Nuna has some really cool skills. She may not be the strongest. She doesn't do a lot of like other stuff, but she is great for helping me generate itty, and that's the main reason I keep her in the party for this moment in time. We're not optimized by any stretch. I think that there's definitely room for improvement across the board, and some early testing has definitely proven that. It's just being able to implement it and get used to the different character structures. Karani's teaching us now that we can cover dangerous platforms with flowers, and we're going to use that to our advantage. Make it. Yes, I don't know which one.
Oh, look!
Phew. All right, so Nuna was on her way to go talk to Ongwu, who was the one who taught us, hey, go get those portals in Marifa. Ajna gets here and she's like, you know what? I'm being sent here by Ongwu. You can go ahead. We'll just take care of it for you.
Why do
And Nuna, being kind of the ditz that she is like, oh yeah, totally, we'll do that. So now basically what we're finding out is that the queen here is locking her people into this temple to be safe because she sensed that Kala is being reawoken. So we think, hey, that's a violation of freedom. We can't allow that to happen. So we're now going to be, we're going to talk to the queen. As only Ajna's diplomacy will, show and allow.
Nice try.
And of course, the loyal subjects are going to try to stop us because, even though we have one of their people with them.
Too much.
Burn bright.
And these guys are sports stars.
annoying?
The local thing isn't Blitzball, it's Teotlibol. I'm not going to worry about keeping a pip on Rosmi at this point. It's going to be way late in the fight. But we should be able to just kind of crank through the rest of the HP here. Oh, well, okay, you're going to do the thing I'd like to see.
Get off.
So attacking Rosmi actually gets some attacks back, which is nice.
Bomb.
But still need the level 3, so we're fine. So we beat those two while I don't know if you want to call her a vizier for the queen or what, but like her right-hand advisor of sorts went off to go warn the queen that we're coming. Okay. We gotta do a little bit of backtracking here to basically gain access. Right now she's behind a barrier and we need to go and break some totems to be able to get past it. And we're just gonna do a little bit of platforming, dodging fights as per usual. Nothing really new here. Tina, if you've got other things that you need to plug for GDQ while I'm doing this roundabout circle thing, you are more than welcome.
I appreciate that. Nothing super urgent, except that, hey, everybody, did you know that you can follow this runner that you're watching right now?
Yeah, this is a.
So to break it, we just have to do a little thing there. She's basically like, there's 4 of these. We got to take them all out in order to get through. And along the way, this is where our main source of ring cell is coming from, you'll notice. So I'm definitely glad that we're able to go this way just because we need, again, 20 for our next upgrade. And very important that we do because it's going to give us... Oh, that's bad. That wasn't as punishing as it could have been. So yeah, being able to restart checkpoint is kind of a blessing in this in regards to that. Some of them are more dangerous than others, and I'm hoping that a part doesn't go horrible later. Because if it does, that's a huge time loss, and we don't want that. Please go. It should be. All right, so now we're done with that side. Now we can move forward, but we're not quite done with these totems quite yet. We got 2 more to get. If that restart didn't cause me to lose one, I'm hoping it didn't. Shouldn't have. Normally it curves around that corner and I have a place to stand there, and it didn't do that this time. And those are insta-kill spikes, which would have put me all the way back to the ground. I didn't want that at all. Oh, how'd you get on the wall there? It's just combining all the movement tech that we have currently right now. You can be a little more safe and freeze these particular goat shamans. I don't bother with it just because once you know where they're at, it's easy to dodge them. That's the important thing, but you don't want to mess around with them too much. They actually do hurt quite a bit. Oh, yeah, I goofed that up. Like, about to find out. Owie. Let's jump there. There we go. Definitely don't want to forget to grab that ring soul right there. If we do, that's very bad. Because the way to get back to it is extremely difficult. Well, not difficult, but it's very time consuming. Okay, we're good. 18 is what I want to see here. This is perfect. 2 more ring soul to go. Remember to do thing here, Nori. So this dive thing is kind of optimal movement in the fact that once you hit ground and you're in a position to move, you get to keep your running speed. If you do any other kind of movement, like regards to this, obviously you don't. So it saves me just a little bit of dashing time to do that wherever I can. Just nice. It's just a matter of learning like how far does she go before it turns into that. All right, this is the tricky ring soul. Don't bonk. You? Perfect. Wait. Ah. Go. All right, there's our 20. Time to go get our final upgrade of the run, which is just going to be more offense. So what I'm going to get out of this now is a extra attack. And it's time to bring in Mr. Latigo. And you'll see why this is probably the preferred character of any and everyone's team composition. Things that I wish I had known in my casual playthrough, by the way, because I think I got him. I didn't like him at all, and I just benched him. Oh, was that a mistake? We disrupted the queen. She's now not very happy with us. And then these blue bullets, you'll notice I'm going to leave one in the chamber. There's a reason for that instead of like wasting it. You'll notice that when those bullets, those particular set of bullets hit, they all dragged through her and did multiple hits. By leaving one in the chamber and launching a 3 and mashing his attack button, you get to do a whole ton of damage. He is by far probably the most broken character of this particular game just because of that.
Special delivery. Through the heart.
Oh, almost. She shouldn't do another platform. Oh, she's doing another platform. That is unfortunate. You don't want to see the platform, especially this late in the fight. It's fine. This fight's over. So we've taken her out now. She's knocked senseless. She's not, fortunately, she's not dead, but we've knocked her senseless. As Ajna's diplomacy dictates, apparently. And we're going to get access to this gate, because that's what we're here for.
I hope so.
And everyone doesn't believe, or basically isn't right now very happy with Ajna. They feel like she didn't take a chance to listen and find out exactly what was going on here. She's just kind of bullheading her way to get what she wants. And I would say they're kind of right about that, but we feel we've done right, or at least Ajna feels that she's done a very good thing. These people are free, and that's what really matters. No one should be able to tell them what to do, even though it's their queen who's, you know, basically making this choice for them to obviously try to keep them safe from what she deems as an extremely dangerous situation out in the world. Now that we've done what we want, we're going to go and move on forward to our next destination. A little bit of backtracking here. Sometimes the momentum keeps, sometimes it doesn't. Fortunately, it does. Well. Getting some unfortunate platforming bonks here, but it's okay. It's nothing huge. Just slow. Best way to put it. Kind of like those things you say, Tina. It's like going fast, but not.
Yeah, that's my thing. You don't get to do
I'm
that.
not stealing it. No, I'll tell you, let you have that. But favorite part of platforming right here, just All right, so
So it looked like you did two of those dives back to back. That feels like it might be optimal movement. Is that a thing that you tend to do in a more optimized run, or was that just you? There was a specific reason why you were able to do it in that spot.
it's not. I could do that pretty much everywhere, except I don't feel like on normal ground it's all that optimal. Only because, I mean, you can keep that, but it's not really any faster than just running.
Okay.
Once you get like the movement tech for running, it's not really what I would consider faster. It's probably about the same, and sometimes can actually get you probably slowed down too. Asha's got this nasty propensity to stub her toe on anything, and when she does, it just brings your movement to a complete stop. And you'll probably see that happen a few times throughout the course of this run, which really is annoying. Also, just as a heads up, this is the area where the boss is that will probably be looking to do our wellness break. So when we beat the boss here, that's probably when we'll stop, I think. So quick introduction to Tyke Run. Obviously, as soon as we get here, we see big problems right away. These people look to be going through a little bit of a big problem with what they consider drugs at this point. So that never works. I don't know why. Make it normal then. But you can see there, I tried to do like the back-to-back one, and you saw that she just got hung up on the stairs. It doesn't always work out the best way. But yeah, there's a big problem going on here from a social perspective. There's a lot of drug usage happening. Tarani, being the caring soul that she is, feels that she wants to do anything she can for these people, and it's just going to get worse as we go through here. Meanwhile, we're being tracked down by a ninja as well. So just a lot happening at the same time here. But we're about to go visit Ginseng and Honey's mother and father. But they are currently under attack by these people that are addicted to Oma, which is really something that's supposed to be used for priests. And all of a sudden, it's now being put out for mass use by the residents. And all we're looking for again is a gate. So not really our problem, but I guess our problem at the same time, as these guys are in our way. So we saved them, and get more information that all of this is kind of or basically what we're looking for is inside this club / mansion. And that's where we're headed. And this is why we did all that backtracking initially, is because we learned some very interesting skills. Also, I don't know if anyone knows a game called Dive Kick, but there's a nice little cameo by the boss. We'll see more of him later. Oh no. I can do this. No, I can't. Also, nifty little bit of movement that you can do with the spear there. Cut around the corner. It's slightly faster than using the axe to grip the wall, because obviously you kind of come to a stop. You have to wait for Ashina to pull herself up, and there's usually it's a little bit of cooldown for movement. So if you're able to do that with the spear, it's highly recommended to do that as often as possible. You'll see me start to do that quite a bit now that I'm in this area. All right, we're getting tired of this ninja shenanigans. Basically, Ashina confronts him, smacks him around a little bit, but then we learn a skill from him, like, how is he hanging on that ceiling? Okay. We use the spear as a way of, like, sticking to the ceilings and being able to traverse that particular way.
Now who's fault?
Spot. Nope. I'm gonna jump first. There we go. There we go. Oh no, that's bad. Whew. The main thing I knew I was worried about was that monster down there. I was like, no, I don't want that. There we go. Whew, all right. Sorry, had to focus on that one a little bit. Platforming's a little tricky there. So this is Naga Rider. He's kind of like the local Batman of sorts. And then that's his nemesis, Garuda Cruel. I'm skipping cutscene there. Gonna get this one. You have to get all three of these cutscenes. If you don't, the game doesn't necessarily soft lock, but you can't progress. You have to come back, get the cutscene again, but in order to do the thing here at the end. It's an interesting place for a story trigger, but it exists. But you have to make sure that you get all three of those charges, or you're not able to press forward once you get here. Now Tarani's been kidnapped by Mr. Garuda, and we're dropped into this place. This is what Boz was not letting us get to. And it's a nightclub, so understandable. Ashina's only 16. She's not really allowed to be in a place like this, but you know, when we go on the ceiling, I guess there's not a lot you can do about it. Also, some of the hypest music of this game. Dance if you got him. Oh, wait. Sorry, interrupted the ninja. We're finally going to have it out with this ninja.
Special delivery.
Oh, I forgot I had bullets. It's fine. Really? Oh, this is an annoying attack. I'm going to have Zabe take it. But
Special delivery.
Nuna can do the same thing. She can actually, like, put those booby traps in front of, like, monsters as well. It's kind of nice, but it's really slow to use, unfortunately. So it's not really worth it when she could be generating itty for us instead.
Look out below.
So we're going to get back to having a bullet in the chamber for our boss.
Don't aim me too much.
Oh, wow. This guy's got just a smidge of HP left. That's unfortunate. That's over now. I probably won't even send. Like, I'm not just going to chance having anything else go wrong there. I'm just going to leave Nuna there, and we'll be fine. So this is, forget his name for some reason. It's the picture back there is the guy we're looking for. You'll notice that there's like pictures of Tirani and stuff are here too. This guy actually knows Tirani from like way back when. They're kind of, I won't say friends per se, but they did know each other. And Garuda Cruel works for him, so dang, that was a nice spread. Sorry. There's still room for Jello, though. Anyone wants some Jello? Free. No. All right, so we catch up to Garuda. Well, we catch up to him. He's like, I have Garuda take care of you first. We're not going to let this guy get away. He tries. You get bullets back because I used them all on that soldier. Ah. Unfortunately, this is the slow attack. I'd rather see him try to dash and hit us. But that's fine. Like, as long as he doesn't grab me, I think we're good. Wow. Okay. That positioning was not the best on my part. It's unfortunate having to wait like that. I would rather he actually dashed at me just because you can knock him out of it and then go run into a fight with him. Oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah. Please don't go away. Wow. Unfortunate RNG. All right, this fight's over. So we beat him. This guy, the guy that we've been chasing, he's run away, and we're gonna go follow him down to his basement. Guys, if you want to do your the wellness break now, it's probably a good time.
All right. Yes, indeed. So now is time for us to just take a quick breather, stretch your legs, get a drink of water. We've got lots more RPG goodness coming up for you just after this. And we are back. I hope that you're all doing great. I've got some announcements just for the folks who've come in since we started. Registration is live for Awesome Games Done Quick 2024. If you'd like to attend the event in person from January 14th through the 21st, head on over to gamesdonequick.com for more info, including attendee registration and hotel booking. Be sure to check out the schedule at gamesdonequick.com/schedule and let us know what you're looking forward to the most. Also, Frame Fatales has its next event, Frost Fatales, coming up March 3rd through the 10th of next year. Frost Fatales 2024 run submissions and studio applications are currently open for all women in fins and speedrunning. Use !FF in Twitch chat or head on over to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info on that. Get your submissions in before November 19th, so that's coming up real quick. You're going to want to get those in. If you've missed any of our shows from our other Hotfix shows, be sure to check out the VODs at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns daily, consider subscribing to the channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, come on over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick to watch our shows live. And after this speedrun is done, we aren't done yet, but once it is, you'll want to stick around because we've got another showcase, a special showcase of the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster speedrun by Sanjin coming up after that. And before I throw it back to Nori, every so often I give people a glimpse into what it's like to be a host here. I have a fantastic behind-the-scenes crew. And today, apparently, it was decided that we needed to have, instead of a count from 3, that's fine. A count from 5, maybe that's a little bit much. I got a count from 10. So I knew exactly when it was time to start because we had been counting from 10. Anyway, hey Nori.
Hey Tina.
You've been doing a speedrun.
Yes.
It's time for you to continue doing a speedrun,
We are. We will get started again here in 3, 2, 1, go.
I was waiting for you to count.
I was going to count the 10. I was like, no, I'm not going to give you the courtesy of 10. I don't know why, but I'm being mean. I don't know why. I apologize. But at any rate. So, yep, we are back. We've chased Mara down here. This is where all the Oma is being produced. But we basically have just said, we've beaten Garuda Cruel. Your operation is done here. I just want the gate, though. And he's still like, please don't take away my operation. This is my business. This is my thing. And him and Tarani have it out. Like I said, they used to know each other way back when. We're talking like 1,000 years ago or so. So, yeah, she can't cleanse him. He's so corrupt at this point, it's impossible. I just say that he's got really bad back at this point because even I kind of suffered that, but that's okay. We know a guy. This is Backrub Bot. Garuda's not dead, obviously. He's just here to get backrubs. That sounded like a pretty good backrub to me. I don't know about you. I'm sure Mara will be fine. Maybe. So Ajna feels that, they've done enough here. Tarani, not so much. She really wants to help, heal the sick. There are still many, many, many sick people here. And she would like to stay, but Ajna's like, no, I need you, Tarani. You have to come with me. Oh, tricky platforming. Hang on. Oh, that turnaround is extremely tight. There we go. All right, so we're done here as far as Ajna is concerned. Everyone else still, again, thinks that there's more that definitely could be done, but we're in a hurry. Hala could start destroying the world at any minute, so we gotta go. No time for that. It's a speed run too, so that helps. All right, so we're back here, and this is probably one of the two things that I'm most worried about in this run. If this goes wrong, I'm gonna lose a ton of time. And the reason I'm going to is because other than right there at the dock, we don't pass a single checkpoint. And I'm doing something that's very, very hard to do. This is definitely a good way to lose time in a run and definitely can cost it. Don't take a fight because if I have to restart checkpoint, that's where the problem begins. I gotta be very careful here and then hopefully we'll get this little trick coming up here shortly. And this is what I call Soldier Elevator. So I need this guy in position, and then I'm going to use him as a platform to get somewhere that I probably shouldn't. We're going to see how this goes. Oh, that's too low. That's not going to work. All right, so unfortunately, now I got to wait. This was one of the more annoying things that they did at the end of everything. This guy has a burst after taking so many hits. He's invincible for what feels like an eternity. And it's just something they added as a way of not basically just killing the enemies without actually fighting them. There we go. That should be perfect. I need him up there so I can get up here. So second try, not the worst. Obviously, you want that first try in any given run. But if I happen to get pulled into a fight because of whatever reason, if I have to reload checkpoint, that would have taken me all the way back to the dock where the Toll is, and we'd have to go on the platform to get back there, all of that. So I'm trying to make sure that at this point, now that I've hit that checkpoint, at least I think I hit that checkpoint, we should be fine. We should be fine. Now with this cutscene, I'm definitely safe. So that is number one scary thing of this particular area. There is another one coming up later, which is going to be even more scary. Which we will explain once we get there. Meantime, I'm just working my way up to the roof where they say I can say I can make it up here, basically. Or this will be the access point. Oh, Ajna, why? Still no momentum. What is she doing? There we go. There we go. All right, it's a thing that I use on the stream all the time. It's Ajna momentum, and it happens a lot. She just refuses to dash. She refuses to jump at certain particular points. She just does whatever she wants to do, which is very fitting for her character, if I'm being honest. At any rate, this little Robin Hood character of this zone, Pan, she's a little questionable. Everyone kind of is like, I don't think you should trust her, but I was just like, no, we're friends. It'll be fine. She's the one who's kind of guiding us up here and making sure that we make it. But it's awful suspicious that the soldiers knew that we were taking the ceiling or like the roof route. And, you know, I don't know, maybe we trust her, maybe we don't. I'm just going to use these because it's not going to matter. No. But getting past the soldiers, we're now going to get access to the roof of this, what they call the factory. You might recognize that robot in the background from, again, the opening fight of the game. Oops, didn't mean to block there, but sure, that works. But he needs some help, and we're going to help him. He's missing some parts because the rats have been at him, so we got to go find these rats and get the parts back. These rats, unfortunately, are probably some of the worst monsters in this game. They are tricky. And you definitely don't want to get into a fight with them if you can avoid it. No! Okay, I'm going to let that happen. Where's that thing? Oh, here. Interesting. Okay. That's an interesting glitch state. Hang on. Are you gonna say the thing? I'm gonna go under the presumption that I've got the part. Oh no. I've never had that happen, so this is why I'm a little confused. Oh my goodness. Dude. Sorry, you gotta have the usual moment, right? That's never happened before. That's one of those moments right now. So now I'm hoping that the game isn't in some weird state. If it is, I probably have a save that's local to this area.
A new sparring partner, eh?
Not a big fan of the fact that that little rat was sitting there, but I couldn't actually get into a fight with it. You know. Guess we'll find out after this one or not. Okay. So technically, in theory, we have all three of the pieces. I'm going to set up a glitch here, which we call Zombie Ajna. So you'll notice that I have no HP bar. It's empty. Okay, we're good. Phew. Scary moment there. We're good. He's going to teach us how to ground pound, and I'm in this zombie state. So this is an interesting one because I have no interaction with anything, not even these checkpoints. And if I take any damage at all, it's going to kill me. Now, the reason we do this is so I can go through these lava flows. Saves a lot more time doing this than waiting for the cycles to run their course. But again, if I take any 1 point of damage from the things that can hit me, like monsters on the screen, we are going to be sent back to where the robot is. So this is a bit of a sketch moment. I got to be very careful about what I do here. And there's one rat right over here that could basically end it. And now all I need is there's two soldiers left that I've got to get past. As long as they don't hit me. I'm going to play it a little safer than I would in a PB attempt. We're good. So this cutscene now pulls me back out of zombie state, and we'll get a full heal and everything. So it's just It's faster to do that. It's also very scary in a PB setting. It's really nutty.
So is there nowhere else that would be faster to do?
We haven't discovered any, or at least I haven't found any yet that obviously would be useful. You need to be here and then. All right, this is Moloch. This boss is weird in the fact that in order to generate itty, these metal plates need to be in place. So at a point, this fight's going to go extremely slow. And it's still one of those things that we're still kind of like playing around with, like, what is the best option to do here? Right now, Kushi is kind of like the best thing. She's a little slow. And of course, she can't guard when she's up in the air. Ow. So I'm kind of glad that that attack happened then. Right now, she can hit all of them. We can get some itty going. So I'm using Baotsai, who has like a very vertical attack, just to kind of be able to hit everything. But I think what we're playing with now is, can we get rid of like the core of it, but leave these upper pieces of metal in a place where Kushi could actually continue to generate itty? And it's kind of something that's being messed with at the moment from a routing perspective. It's just getting comfortable with it before it's really going to be implemented. But like you'll notice it right now, it's just the damage is going very, very slow. We're not getting any itty generation at all, or hardly any. And another thought process would be maybe we can swap in another character at the cost of 1 bar of itty, but that person will be on cooldown for a somewhat significant amount of time. But we don't really know who else we would bring in to help with the itty generation at that point. So kind of just dealing with this as is for the moment. And it's only for that brief period, but once you have the core like fully exposed, then the damage starts to ramp back up, and it's actually good. Honestly, I would like to have Kushi back on the ground at this point. And I probably could take 1 turn to do that. That'll be the end of the fight. So that is the corpse of the king. He died a while ago, but this area being technologically what they are, they found a way to put souls into robots. That's why that Yurinomos, the robot that helped us at the beginning of this area, is there. He's actually a human soul in a robotic body. And they do that with, basically that she was going to use this robot to take down Kala and keep everything safe, from the world. But it's also part of her plan to dominate the world and put it under the Iron Kingdom's control. So we feel like we're, again, doing the right thing. However, in destroying that robot, that pink slime now is like everywhere. The town is super polluted at this point. So I was just like, well, that's the cost of, us doing the thing. We got the gate and we're done with them. We just need to get out of here and go back to Onmu. And that's what else she's caring about, because, again, Kala could resurrect fully and start destroying the world at any moment. That's our main focus, or at least that's what she's trying to focus on. Also, one of the best characters in the game, right here. Hi. Unfortunately, we're not picking her up. She used to be part of my route until she took little bit of a significant nerf. In the very last patch that we got of this game, which was super unfortunate. It also changed a few things, obviously, down the road for that particular one. One other time losing, I want to say glitch, more like a manipulation, I guess. We'll see how it goes, but there's one scary fight in the rest of this run that can cost me minutes if I don't do the manipulation correctly. So I'm going to try to avoid that from happening. And as long as we can get it in a relatively quick fashion, shouldn't be a problem. All right. So we've given the power now to use these gates. She's telling us if there's anything that you need to do elsewhere, now's a good time to do it. And we're like, nah, we're just going to go. So this is Lon. That's Launchy, best boy. Yes, in this game, you can pet the doggo if you get the doggo in your party. and pet the doggo. So already a good game. Ajna basically needs to get permission for these monks to be able to move forward. And right now she's very impatient and no one is really keen to allow her passage to Sumeru. So they're like, go talk to these monks. Maybe they'll give you a new perspective. Everyone's like, let's stay the night. And the next morning comes up and she's like, no, we need to go, period. The monks are still deliberating at this point, but she's like, you know what? I don't care. We're heading out. And Dar is on their side. He wants he wants Ajna to actually listen and be patient. But she's like, we can't do that. I'm learning a new skill and we're out of here. So even though she's done that, like the group is mad at her, but they're not like super mad. They understand her concerns, and yes, it is scary that at any moment Kali could be like, oh, I'm just going to reset the world, and we'll start fresh and new. But they still are like, you really do need it. I was about to just do a down thing so I could pogo over that thing and just slid right into him instead. So, try to again avoid fights because fights are slow. Especially with how underpowered we actually are at this point. Like, we've not gotten a lot of the ring cell. We've not gotten a lot of, I guess you can call levels. And the system of this game kind of works on an affinity system with characters. So, as we do more things with these characters and they get levels, they actually get stronger too. Oops. This is some really tricky platforming, bear with. So this isn't necessarily intended for me to go this way, but this is the way we're going. I mean, I guess it is intended. I have the ability to do it, so why not? Wrong button, Nori. Sorry. I'm gonna get my bearings back. There we go. Goodness. Trying to commentate and do the platforming of this sometimes is very difficult, so I apologize for the mistakes in the quiet time. All right. So now that we've got these new skills, we're going to try to put them to use to really do something we shouldn't technically be able to get away with, but we're going to. You're going to see a lot of these really tight bits of platforming getting up here. I'm going to try to use this dash more often because if I hit a ledge just right and dash, it actually puts Ajna automatically in like the charge up for her dashing. So it saves me just, an extra button press and a little bit of extra time every time that I can pull that off. Obviously, it's only good for those ones that I want to be able to hit. So like that as an example, where I did not have to hit the charge button in order to get that going. Oh, good. Got that first try. And the window to do that turnaround midair to catch those ledges with the axe is very small. So that just takes some getting used to from a movement perspective to be able to pull off. As far as possible. There we go. Bring. Oh. One more goat. Never know where he is. It's a complete blind leap of faith doing a charge there. I'm just going to take this nice and easy. He can be in the good spot. He can be in the worst spot. Okay, you might recognize where we are now. So we basically just took a backwards route up here. Well, not really backwards, more like an external route up to the inside of Sumeru. So this is where we were chasing down Ravanavar. He was shooting the fireballs at us. And we're now right here where we had our final confrontation with him. And took him out of the mortal coil, but released Kala. So we're basically coming up here to try to have a face-off with her. But she is not here where we left her. But Tarani being from here, she's like, before Kala kicked us out, I believe that there's more. There's obviously more because we used to live here. So we're going to go and check out that kind of like deeper area and see if we can run into her there. And what we get out of this basically is some progressively more difficult platforming. Every time you come back here, it's always just a little bit more difficult because it adds another layer, which obviously expects you to have certain other skills and things like that to be able to progress forward. We're going to take full advantage of our full complement of what we have available at this point to be able to go and try to find our quarry. Hopefully not have too many mistakes in the process. And then this is kind of where, like I talked earlier about how Ajna likes to stub her toe on nothing. This is a great place to see it happen. You'll just, as I'm trying to get up like these things, she'll just suddenly lose momentum for no reason. Like a pixel just sticks up or something and just stops her. And it's unfortunate when it happens because it completely breaks your entire flow. I got lucky there. That one I shouldn't have gotten away with, but I'm going to take that and run with it. See what I did there. Tons. All right. Unfortunately, I wish there was more to talk about here. There really isn't much, so good time for questions or anything that you might have.
Yeah, so I did have one.
Yes.
You mentioned that you're pretty underleveled. That doesn't come across very well during the boss fights. About how much further along in terms of leveling does the game expect you to be compared to where you are?
It's really...
Are we talking like half, 25%?
It's really more about like your HP pool when I say underleveled. Like the damage output obviously doesn't translate. Like you say, like you look at the fights, those seem to go pretty swimmingly. That's just because Latigo is broken. But it's actually your survivability. So on top of saying that like you get levels, it's mainly your HP pool. And you're going to see this become very apparent after this segment here. We're going to be going back to some areas and you're going to notice a sudden, just very big increase in the amount of damage being output by the monsters that we're going to run into. And that's where you've got to just know you got to be really good at like perfect blocking. If you're good at perfect blocking, it's not that scary. But if you're not good at perfect blocking, you're in for a very hard time. And normally you would have, through battles, you would gain more levels and you'd have a deeper HP pool. So it doesn't really affect you, or it wouldn't affect you if you had all of the HP, put it that way.
Right, but you're going to melt way easier because of it.
Yes. Yeah, if I make big mistakes in blocking or don't block at all, I'm likely to lose characters in 1 or 2 hits, which obviously is not ideal. Too early. That's some of my smoothest platforming through here, unfortunately. This room, I have a special affinity for. My casual playthrough, I don't want to talk about how I got through this room. All I could see was those spike platforms and figured that the game wanted me to go on them. And then my first actual watch of a speedrun went this way. And I was mad. I was so mad. Like, really? Because visually, if you look at it, you may not necessarily notice that that is available to you. Unless you're really paying attention, which at the time, I was not. Also, I never trust this spear. Sometimes when you're doing the ceiling thing, sometimes if you're just too far away, it won't register and you go plummeting. Or if you bonk, it doesn't always rescue you the way you hope it does. Which is a bigger problem in what we call cap percent, where we go after the game's super boss. That one... The spear will tend to kind of troll you occasionally and cost you time whenever it decides it doesn't want to do what it's designed to do. and one cutscene. So this is where Tarani's like, yeah, I used to stand on this ledge and kind of like, you know, watch over everything that's going on here.
They will know devil.
And that's when she's like, wow, you actually did live here?
And fear.
And yeah, Tarani's extremely old. She may not look it, but she's like thousands of years old, being a Deva. So, don't you dare to launch yourself there. We're getting near where we're supposed to get to. Feels like a long trek at this point. It definitely has been. Hopefully, stub our toe here. To Ajna. I love how I talk about Ajna momentum and she's really not putting it on showcase. Except on some of the other stuff, which is weird. Hey. I do like about this game though is the hard platforming. It works your hands a bit. I have an input display that I don't really have on my stream for all of my speed runs. This one is like kind of an impressive one just to see like the inputs that are being done to be able to do this. Also, Paula's awake. So we made it up here. She's like, kind of reveals that, hey, you're my third eye that I really need in order to be able to, you know, do what I need to do. Ajna loses her mind basically here and transforms into the big monstrosity that we're now beating on to try to get some sense knocked back into her. Paula, of course, is like really happy to see this and is all about this, but
Oh no, something.
Ajna's rage cannot be quelled, so we're gonna have to keep doing this. And all we're trying to do here is just generate as much ID as possible. These four characters and who's the party are the best ones to do that as quickly as possible. So it minimizes kind of the time loss that can happen here, which is Paula getting an attack off. I have successfully gotten through this segment without her being able to do that one time, and it happened recently, and I was absolutely floored because I didn't think it was possible to do. And I think there's some randomness to it too for some reason, but at this particular point now, as I've been skipping cutscenes, I cannot skip this one no matter what I do. So this is going to play through, and everyone get ready to put your D's in chat because we got to say goodbye to a character.
And for everything else. Earth, give me strength.
Or if you're going to use earth magic, you might want to be standing on ground. Oops. All right. And yep, that happened. So, I guess you could say kind of she's back to normal. She's kind of unconscious at this point, but now has to kind of ruminate and kind of rethink about what she's done up to this point. In her blind rage, she's kind of realized a little bit that, yeah, maybe she could have done things a little bit better and is coming to accept that. But she's also got to face the part of her that just became exposed. So she's got to make peace with that particular one and find a good thing, kind of a good balance between them. This is one of her magical girl transformations. I'm going to skip it, unfortunately. But we wake up and some of our party is back. Other people have left, kind of rightly so. But this is our village that we started with. This is Ashwat, or what's left of it, from obviously the fire and things like that. She's like, okay, you know what, guys? I really understand that I have done this very poorly. And it's kind of like we need to go back and obviously find those people who have left us. I'm going to apologize to them. And now would be a good time to maybe correct a few things that we haven't necessarily done properly. So we're going to basically kind of take advantage of yet even more new techniques of platforming. Try to, at least, in order to kind of get back to where we're going. And this is where you'll find out that this game is actually more interconnected than you would originally thought. So, at first you thought, oh, I need a boat to be able to get to this place. Not necessarily true. This map is way more interconnected than you would believe in the initial. It just required obviously having certain abilities to be able to take advantage of that. I'm going to get this just right. Also, I got to be careful. I get pulled into a fight here that's dangerous because I honestly don't have a party set up. I could, but I usually save that for an actual menu. It's going to come up later. So I'm just trying to make sure I definitely avoid getting into a fight here.
What the heck?
Oh yeah, she also finds out there's a gate right outside of her town. We're not going to open it. There's no point at this particular point, but it is available. So you are able at this point to just go, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add that to my... So this is what I'm talking about traversing in other areas. As you'll see, this is starting to turn more into Tai Krung. And that's exactly where we are at this point. We're now at Tai Krung from Ashwan. So you actually can Metroidvania style your way through a lot of these locations. All right, so now that we're here, we're like, okay, Tirani is here. We find out that Tirani actually exists here. We run into Naga Rider, and Naga Rider is going to teach us not our final technique, but definitely one that's very useful.
Together,
And he's going to join our party.
no chance.
And we're actually going to bring him in, or as I call him, Naga One Fighter. He's in for one battle, basically, and one battle only. He'll do his part, and then we're going to move on. Kind of the way I'm going to leave it with that. But he does help out quite a bit, at least in this. But I think the bigger gain is we learn this. So you notice that my dashing keeps through platforming now. And as long as I don't hit a different direction or bring my momentum to a halt, the dash will remain no matter what I do. So it's really nice. It's really good. It's called the Haruku Hustle, I believe is what they call it. And it's very useful. But we also need to be able to break some of these platforms, which are really tricky. Now, before I can go forward, I have to go do a little diversion here. The game will not let you progress without doing this. So, very important to go over here and pick up Hirani. She's come back here, obviously, to try to help those who are addicted to Oma still. She still wants to help out here, but she's willing to join us. You know, we apologize profusely for our behavior, specifically towards her in relation to, her wanting to help, but not allowing her to do so. She's like, okay, that's fine, and I will be more than happy to help you along, Ajna. I've done a lot of work here, but she's also extremely exhausted because there's just that much to be done. But this is the one fight that I'm going to need Naga for. He's just really quickly able to break the guards kind of block here so I can get some itty generated. And you do not. That's what I was thinking. Now, this is where you'll notice the spike in damage output. Perfect blocked, he still did 5,300 points of damage. If I don't, that's even worse. So this is where the pain really kind of kicks in. If you get pulled into fights here, it's likely you're going to die and have to redo the fight. There we go. So it gets scary here, and we definitely want to make a point that we are no longer getting into anything. But we're going to grab Yan here. Yan she's a great character. I like her story. She's actually really, really good story too. She's a dancer that was basically being kept here by Mara. Mara is no longer in charge, so she's kind of been forgotten and left in a cage, other than the soldier that was obviously guarding her. But she is really, really strong. She hits really hard. Oh, and by the way, reference. Again, that guy is from a game called Dive Kick. So if anyone familiar with the game, you kind of get it.
That rules so much.
Yeah, it's a great little throwback. It's also important, obviously, to get into that fight with a level 2 on hand, because if not, you're kind of in for a world of hurt. He will beat up on you. But yeah, we're going to be backtracking, obviously, back. We're being told that now Garuda Cruel is in charge. And it's even worse than when it was under Mara. So we definitely want to set things to right here. We're going to take out Garuda Cruel once and for all. but we have to get back in, and now we don't have to do the slow route like we did. We've got this ability that breaks through strong doors. So the platforming, the backtracking, it all goes a little bit faster with the new abilities. This gets scary. If I get into a fight here, I'm skipping a checkpoint that's actually down there. So if I get into a fight with this Naga, we're in trouble. And we're not. So this should be pretty clear now. We'll get to another fight coming up shortly. It's tied to a character we haven't used. We've seen him twice, but we haven't used once. And as much as we like him, he's just slow. But this is tied to his story as well. So you definitely get a chance to learn all about these characters throughout that if you take the time to do so. And it's kind of a shame, but like no one is willing to run all characters, and I can understand why. It's a lot of work, and it would be probably twice as long as the speed run at this point if you were to do it. Nice.
So that people know what they're watching, how many times did you have to press block for that?
It's basically at a rhythm. So every time that you hear the ding, 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 that's me pressing block.
That's individual blocks
Yes.
that people are watching.
Yes. This one I always miss. That one has to be perfectly timed or it's missed entirely, and I have never gotten the timing down for it. Oh no, that was a mistake. I goofed up my patterning here, so I'm trying to get back on script. There we go. If you're good with crab, was it claw? If you're good at claw formation, this game is like right up your alley. I am so bad at claw. I cannot on a controller. All right. I'm going to focus on this one just a smidge. I'll talk about what I do after, if I get it, which I didn't. I don't want to take this fight. This fight is deadly. This is where the Leilani, the girl that I pointed out at the end of... missed it again. What I'm trying to do, I guess I'll talk about it while I'm doing this. So, I'm trying to get Ajna stuck right when that cutscene trigger kicks in on the ceiling. And the reason for it is it actually makes that fight tolerable. Instead of fighting all three of them, I only have to fight two, or one. And it's a lot less scary in that, because these girls hurt quite a bit. It was a trick that was discovered by Mabekura-san, or at least that's the first time I ever saw it used, and I laughed about it. Because we were just kind of wondering how we were going to deal with the nerf that happened with Leilani. And then all of a sudden this technique is displayed, and I'm like, well, there we go. There's our answer. I had a PB that lost 2 minutes to this trick. I think I second tried it in my most recent PB. So the time save that I had, which was 2 minutes, is only down to like 15 seconds now. It's not easy to do. Like, you think you have a visual cue, and then it just doesn't seem to work out for some reason. But it's way faster doing it that way than actually taking the fight. Right. So here we go with Garuda. And it's basically second verse, same as the first with that. It's basically the same fight, except he's faster. And he doesn't have a telltale. If he does decide to do the thing that he didn't do the entire last time we faced him, I don't get an indication that he's coming in from one side or another, and that could actually be a bit sketchy, so we're going to hope that doesn't occur.
Special delivery.
delaying Zabe just a little bit to make sure that I get the most out of the arrows too. It's just matching him. He's going to miss a significant amount of them, and we don't want that to happen. But at this point, Naga Rider tries to talk some sense. They used to be partners in fighting crime, but Garuda went the wrong way. And he's decided that he's not going to play ball. Ends up hitting the self-destruct button. And it's unfortunate. Salutes to Garuda Cruel. But Ajna now is like more powerful, and she's like, let me help you cure these people, Tirani. And we're now causing a healing rain across all of the city. So we've now righted the wrong that's going on here, but there's more to be done. So this is kind of like, you could say, Ajna's redemption arc. And that's what we're going to be doing, is setting everything to right, because we're no longer in a hurry. We know that Kala is not going to just hit the reset button on the world anytime soon, so we can take our time.
And neither are you.
We were able to talk to Ongwu. Ongwu's not there. That's Ongwu's assistant. Find out that she is back to where she came from, which was Kunul, to help them out. And this doesn't look boding. This doesn't look very nice, does it? All the people are down here all of a sudden. And we're going to find out that the queen is now blocking something that's attacking from the outside. So we're going to have to go and deal with that. Ongwu teaches us a new movement ability. So we got even more options. Now I can do the normal dash upwards or in diagonal, depending. So that's just going to make some of this platforming even more fun. Kind of forgot where I was. I was like, what exactly am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, yeah. Also, that bigger dash there is nice with the wind-up. Unfortunately, you can't chain it, for one. And it does feel a little slow with the wind-up, obviously, but still gets us at least a little bit of extra mobility that we'll take advantage of in a number of spots here. Oh, that was pretty clean. You never realize how big this place is until you have to backtrack through it. It's like, wow, okay. There was a lot to do here. So we find the queen here. She's got a barrier put up to block what's going on, but she's like, you know what? I will forgive you if you can take care of our problem for us. So we're going to go up here and figure out what the problem is. And the problem is, well, it was the advisor who got banished by the queen after she let us disrupt the initial plan. So Zitzi is now very angry. She was just trying to get revenge, but she wants to be near her queen. She definitely wants to be near her queen regardless. But now she's gone to Kala's influence and is now obviously a threat. Ow. And the goal here isn't to beat her, it's just to get her to specific HP thresholds, where she will kick us out, and then we have to do another platforming segment, rinse and repeat. But we don't have to like completely deplete all of her HP to do this, so. Oh, I moved up. That wasn't clean, but got our setup at least. Oh, it was enough. Okay. Surprise. I didn't think that would be enough, but here we are. All right, so this will be the final round. That technically should be enough. I'm just going to throw a few bullets at it just in case, but yeah, we're good. All right, so out of this, now we're going to learn yet another technique. Like Ajna just goes nuts on learning new abilities and things like that. And this one's kind of like, okay, you turn something to wood and then you teleport to it. So really nifty. You're going to see that very like, abused heavily here in the coming segments, or at least one of them. Now that we're out of here, you're thinking, hey, why don't you just go to the dock? Well, we don't have the boat. We still don't have Baotsai. And also in the story, for story reasons, they also say that the seas are untraveled. Like you can't travel via sea except from one place, which would be to between Port Marifa and Iron Kingdom is the only available way to travel right now via boat. So we're obviously going to have to backtrack our way all the way back down here in order to get out of here. Kind of unfortunate, but if you're questioning it, that's why. There's actually story reason behind it.
So while we backtrack, let's talk a little bit about meter management. Now that you've got 5 bars, is your standard strategy just going to be build as many bars as you can as quickly as possible and then spin them all? Sometimes I notice you're keeping 1 or 2 around.
It's literally 100% Latigo. At this point of the run, everything is Latigo. So you're getting, depending on your setup, like right now, I know that I think I have a bullet in the chamber for Latigo at this point. So my next play would be I need to get up to 3 bars to be able to do his third. I don't necessarily have to go build up to 5 every time unless that's what the game actually makes me do. And it's kind of a thing that will be happening towards the end of the run specifically, that'll occur. But right now it's more like get 2 to be able to get bullets in the chamber for Latigo, and then 3 to use as level 3. So it's really, that's it. So when we talk about management, we'll technically get very specific setups that are just going to happen. And you can just immediately dive in and do it. Other times you may have to build up. It just depends. But for the most part, since we're avoiding fights where we would build itty by normal standards, and that used to be a strat. We used to take like 1 final fight before we got to the final boss, just for the purpose of building itty to full. It's no longer really necessary to do, just with the way that the strats have developed over time. So we talk about that. It's not really managed. It's more like it auto does it itself. And you just kind of go with what you get. But it's still 100% all routed around making sure that you use Latigo's bullets to their full effect. All right, so we're back in Iron Kingdom now. We are willing to extend an olive branch to Kanpan, who screwed us over last time. Sold us out to the queen here and all of that good stuff. She's going to try to help us get through basically here to get to the factory where all of the pollution, all this pink slime is coming from. And she has the ability to kind of smash through these things where we do not. So that's why she's helping us out at this point. And eventually decides, yeah, let's go ahead and team up. So she's going to join us. most of the party is like, nah, you really don't want to do this. But she's like, no, we're friends. It's fine. I'm cool. And if she gets out of line, I'll just, punch her. Basically it. And obviously Kanpan's scared of this because she sees kind of how strong Ajna actually is. So I don't blame her for wanting to be cautious about that kind of deal. And she teaches us how to smash these things. So now we have even more abilities, which are useful. Hardest jump in the game is coming up soon. I think I finally figured it out, but hopefully it won't turn into a disaster if I don't get it. Right here, there. Yes, okay. That's trickier than it looks. If you hit those spikes, it gets even worse because you can fall all the way down there. I think there's a monster down there waiting to just pull you right into a fight too. So you really don't want that to happen if you can avoid it. So it was inaccessible to get to the factory from the ways that we've done it before. We have to come in this way. There's all this pink slimes completely blocking you, and obviously you have to go this way to learn the ability to smash it, so you have to take this lower route through the sewers. But now that we're in, we're going to use this to our full advantage. Watch out for this fight here. Okay. Whew. I want to make sure it didn't pull me into a fight if I did that wrong, and I did. Go low. Oh. Okay. Almost. Sometimes you can catch the global cycle and you're able to get through there and it's no problem. I unfortunately very rarely do. All right. So rumor has it that the queen, she got dumped into the pollution. She's now turned into the slime queen. So she's been taken over by the actual slime, and of course, Kala's influenced, yada, yada, yada. I have a bullet. I do not. The hard way. Just want to be sure that I don't take too much damage with Ajna here. It's a little scary going between these transitions, and what did I do? Hit the wrong button. So I might be asking for trouble here at phase 2. Only because it's really difficult to pull her back into a fight. There was an old strat that was used a long time ago where we used to aerial combo her to death, and we had like a couple of different characters that made that easy. We no longer do that anymore, so we have to try to get her to pull us back into a fight without like taking me out, and that's, yeah, I'm in trouble. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen when I made that mistake. So that's going to set me back just a smidge. Not huge, but that's super unfortunate. And I didn't mean to take all that damage with Ajna. So she doesn't just immediately go into the fight, and that's where the problem is. Like, if you could just immediately get into a fight with her, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it's kind of like on her schedule on when we're getting back into the fight. Remember to use her. No, I didn't want to use 3. This is why the blue bullet's important. First phase doesn't really matter as much. It's more the second anyway. Please. There we go. So unlike the first time, she decided she wanted to let us in right away. Now it doesn't matter if I do it, and Ajna hits harder if I actually use her properly. So we're going to play this really close, obviously. I think I already had the bullets, but I just forgot. It's fine. I just need to get back to a 3 here. One more round. All right, this should end the fight. Nope. Not quite. That's fine. Not the cleanest of fights, but we'll get through it. Should be enough. All right, so we've done everything that we need to do. We've cleaned up all the areas, stuff like that. So in doing this, the queen has learned her lesson. She actually gets turned back to normal after we diplomacy her. And then you get so much momentum off of this. So she's gonna work on cleaning up this mess and stop trying to take over like everybody's jurisdiction, stick to her own, yada yada yada. So we've done our best. We've done everything that we potentially possibly can. It's time to finally go after Kala and make sure she doesn't reset the world. So hey, guess what we're doing? Right back to Sumeru again. This is the wreckage of Lon from when Ajna fell on it from being in her monster form. You can pick up Lanchi here. I'm not going to, but you can. Friendly reminder, you can pet the doggo in this game, and it's actually a good source of itty to do so, but you also lose some DPS for it too, so it's not the greatest idea, although, thought processes, maybe somebody new has a better thought about it. So who knows? I mean, again, there's not many runners in this game, so fresh perspectives are always a wonderful thing to get. Anyone is interested in learning this. So all of the platforming we've done here before, it gets even easier with the new movement abilities. Try not to mess this up too bad, but the thing I hate about this revisit is that Ajna keeps getting into cutscenes and it kind of ruins your flow a little bit. It's like I wish she wouldn't talk as much at certain points, because it's like, oh, I was really doing well here, and then all of a sudden we get interrupted by cutscene. Was a little more momentum than I wanted out of there. So this is the hard route we took earlier. It's going to be way easier. And honestly, this is most likely when they actually would have expected you to take the route that we took last time.
Hey, pretty good question in chat. What about getting the dog makes you lose DPS, given that most of your DPS nowadays is coming from Latigo?
So, I mean, everyone else is still hitting, right? You've got Yan who's doing damage. You've got Ajna. You've got Zabe. They're all doing damage. So the dog, when you put it in the mode to actually make the itty, it's taking a nap. Lanchi's just sitting there sleeping.
And just sitting there taking up a spot.
Yeah, he's just taking a spot. Like, you're petting him, you're generating itty while he's doing it, but that's all he's doing. He's just laying there. So you're basically losing out on a little bit of DPS and the fact that he's not able to attack in that mode. Otherwise, yeah, it'd be a completely viable solution if you were also able to generate, extra damage. And the amount of itty that the dog does generate it's a good source of it by comparison to most characters in this game, but it's not ideal in the fact that it's, it won't keep Latigo going, I think is what I'm really trying to get to. You can get maybe one full bar out of a full petting session, which, I mean, that's not bad, but it's not fast either when it comes down to it because of the cooldowns.
Yeah, I feel like your combos usually generate substantially more than one bar.
Yeah. All right, deviation and route, finally. It's not the same old thing on this visit. With new abilities comes different directions that you can go, and this one's one of the more fun one, because now you can use this teleport thing to basically cut out that entire going around in circle bit there that one wants you to do. Now get up here this way because of the abilities. Oh, shoot. I goofed. And anytime that you use the red smash and it goes through a platform, it recharges everything. So I'm going to be taking full advantage of that here shortly, in a way to climb up very vertically, very quickly, in one particular spot here as we continue to kind of just quickly get through all of these screens that last time felt like it took forever to do. That was the screen. It's great that you can just go do all of that. Like, oh. Here. Now, the tricky part you have to be careful with that is if you catch something like right at the very end of the animation of that, all you do is bonk off of it and nothing occurs, and that's what you want to try to avoid. So as you get used to the movement with this game, you have to also have to kind of keep in mind like your distance, where you are to your goal there, in order to make sure you get through it, or basically are able to recharge and continue your way through. Instead of fall. You see, we're almost all the way back to where Kala is now, as it starts to, or at least where Kala was. From our last visit here. So, looks like she's gone deeper into her sanctuary, so we're gonna have to track her down. And this is where the game really expects you to like have a good comfort feeling in using the movement options that are available to you at this point. Because the platforming gets really difficult here. And I'm going to try to minimize the amount of checkpoints that I take. So there are some moments where if I make a mistake, it's going to be kind of punishing from a being set back perspective.
And checkpoints in this case, they're just slow because of the fact
Well,
that you're going to have to go out of your way to get them.
anyway. Like I could have skipped. Well, I probably could have skipped that one. But for example, here, this platform is technically a checkpoint, but I've got to stand in the middle of it for it to count. I didn't just do that. So if I fall now, I will be back where the little statue was, the glowing statue.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, sometimes they're few and far between, and other times they're not. Like right now, it's being very generous, but I just skipped that one too. So now I've skipped 2 checkpoints.
Okay.
For the sake of speed.
So it's not that like checkpoints are also coming along with like unskippable cutscenes here. It's just you have to move that little bit further, and you would rather optimize your movement.
Exactly. So now I've got a new checkpoint. So now if I fall, it's not going to be as punishing. But yeah, for the sake of speed and just it's not a huge amount of time, but every little bit when you're on a timer, right? And I'm kind of ignoring a lot of the mechanics the game is telling me to do, like using this, like the flower and the spear back there, because obviously that's slower. If I can fly like this, why would I need it? All right. This enemy up here used to be where we would actually like be the last mandatory fight that we'd have to take. But when they added this burst mechanic after taking like 9 or 10 hits, we can just skip right on by it. I don't care about the itty generation at this point. So, not sure if that was a complete oversight in regards to implementing that system or not, but we're going to take full advantage of it while we can. All right, nearing the end of this climb, this is where it gets really tight. Like the game now is like you've got to stay in the air, period. And landing on these is not as easy as it looks initially. All right. So we've made it. We've climbed Mount Sumeru. We find Kala's palace. And she's prepared a little gift for us. Hi, Dar. How are you? But he's obviously on the wrong side again. I'm basically doing this a little slower just for the sake of itty generation. These fights are scary too. They do more than you're used to and are faster than you're used to. But Dar does us a favor. Whenever he does a rock charge, which is funny because, you know, considering he's on the wrong side of things, every time he does it, he gives me itty. So, again, don't know if that's an oversight or not, but again, we'll take advantage of it while it's there. And here's Dad. Hi, Dad. And here's Ravanavar. Just kidding.
Still holding on to the.
So Kala is basically like, I'm glad you're here. You made it easy on me. I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, plug you back in where, you know, the ice socket, and we'll just get this world reset on the way. And oh, really? It wasn't enough. I was just like, nope. We're here to take you down. So we're going to do a little bit of Sonic's Ajna's spinball, as I call it. Now with her final upgrade of movement, she is able to literally fly by charging up her itty midair and then using it to boost herself. Now, this comes at a cost. You'll notice my life bar is dropping while I do this. So it's very scary towards the end of this because we're going to be down to a very small amount of life at the end. And if I make one mistake, well, we're back at the start of this particular thing. So I'm going to try to avoid that being a thing. These monsters don't mean anything because you're just going to bulldoze through them and easy peasy. So now it's all that's left now is us taking on Kala. And this can go one of two ways. It can go really slow or it can go pretty fast. We're going to hope it goes fast. But she basically does anything in her power to keep me from being able to stay in the air with her 90% of the time. The timing for these fists is a little tricky too. So I'm going to try not to be caught unawares or in midair. Whenever to do it, you can do an aerial block, but it's really difficult. You know, she's got like 19 health bars. So it's going to take a minute to chip through all this. Some of that damage happens during this phase too, though. There's an aerial block. Now that was badly timed. And of course, you can get stuck in like attack animations and things that makes it where the block won't go through. So you got to be kind of cautious of that particular thing as you're going as well. I didn't need to do 3 again. I overmashed.
Special delivery.
Too early. These are all perfect block scenarios. If you don't time it, you get hit. Nice little touch with having Ajna smashed against the screen, of course. And I am mashing 2 buttons to do that, by the way. That's not something you hold or anything. You actually have to mash that in order to do that. So, in order to get through some of these things, hope you brought your best mashing fingers. Take the setup for the bullets, even though I won't be able to use them now.
Don't hate me too much.
Okay, I will get to use them. All right, we're almost there. At least for this particular one. Ooh, wow, she's being really generous. I would have expected her to have left by now. Now I say it, of course. Early. for it early. Oh, I was just in reach of that top fist. Are you serious? That's fine. This is also really sketchy too, because like if you take a death here, you start this all over from the start of the fight. So I'm trying to be careful of like how much life I'm using. So you could use that new skill and ability that Ajna just learned with the flying, but obviously again that comes at the cost of using your own HP. And I did that in my casual playthrough, and it got me in trouble. So we're not going to do that. This will be over on this particular round, but it's not time yet.
Special delivery.
How dare you!
We're going to go a little overestimate, unfortunately, and I apologize for
Is
that.
that it?
So she was looking to reset it. If you let it happen, you will reset there. Very unfortunate. This is a good chance to say goodbye to all your friends, but obviously that takes time, so they're going to come along with me. And we're going to have one final confrontation. So if we thought that 19 HP bars was a lot, she might have one or two more.
I must.
Oh yeah, it's more.
But the advantage is now she's using her own life as a means of attack too. So what goes around comes around. We just have to endure it basically.
Is there any way to attack to speed this up?
There is not.
Or is it just an auto scroller?
I'll show you here shortly. Oh, she's kind of immune to attacks. That's fine.
Enough of that.
Basically, the final cutscene with Ender, her father, at the end is just a reminder that the best offense is a good defense. And that's how you defeat her. Because again, it's just a kind of a stamina thing. You've just got to outlive her. I have time coming up soon on the final input. Shave and haircut. 2 bits. And time.
GG. What a fun run.
It is. It's like the platforming is so satisfying once you get it down, but it's also one of the most frustrating points when you don't. It's a thing, but like I highly encourage even casual playthroughs of this game. Like the story is amazing, and we skipped so much. And you know, as a testament to that, there's a screen at the end of this that shows your optional characters, the ones that you could find, and it's woefully blank in the speed run because we only pick up like 3 of them.
Yeah, there's so much more.
Oh yeah, this game goes deep. This game goes hard, and the story is just absolutely amazing. It's just like learning about your own self, and it really kind of made me turn inside myself too, in a way that I deal with situations, and kind of living that through Ajna. It's a beautifully written story, and I highly recommend it. And also, like, you get to learn more about the side characters too. In that, you know, you're helping them kind of like take care of their own demons too, which also makes them stronger. So it's worth doing, at least in the casual sense. Yeah, just unfortunately it doesn't all fit very well with the speed run, but so good. This game needs more love than it gets.
So speaking of people who speedrun this game, where can we find you?
You can find me, of course, on Twitch, twitch.tv/JT, or not JT. I just reverted myself about 3 years ago. Norimaki_SR, as it's displayed right beneath me on the stream. I don't really do much outside of that. Like, I have a YouTube channel, but it's only for storage of like PB VODs when I remember to export them, and I don't do much on social media. I can also be found on Discord with the same name, Norimaki_SR. So you can always, you know, got any questions about this particular game, feel free to reach out. Normally my DMs are open if you need to. Of course, Indivisible does have a Discord. You can find the link for that on our speedrun.com page. And, take a look and see what's available. Like I say, there's ILs for this with the Rosmi DLC. And of course, there's a couple of other categories like this any percent run that's been routed, cat percent, which is just the let's go take out the super boss. And then who knows where the future goes. Like I said, someone's routing two-player routing, New Game Plus is being routed. But no like all characters or anything like that. I think, if anyone's interested in routing those, there's free availability for it. So feel free. And those of us that are still active there, we're more than happy to help out for anyone who's interested.
Awesome. So thank you again. And just as a reminder, everybody, it's going to be the end of Indivisible. It's not the end of Speedruns for today, so you will want to stick around. A couple of announcements just for anybody who's just now showing up, which, hey, I'll start out. If you missed any of our Hotfix shows, like the one that's ending right now, be sure to check out our VODs at youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. This one was a ton of fun. You will want to go back and watch it. Registration is live for Awesome Games Done Quick 2024. If you'd like to attend in person from January 14th through the 21st, head on over to gamesdonequick.com for more info on that, including attendee registration and hotel booking. Be sure to check out the schedule, which is over at gamesdonequick.com/schedule, and let us know what you're looking forward to the most. Frame Fatales has its next event, Frost Fatales, coming up March 3rd through the 10th of next year. Frost Fatales 2024 run submissions and studio applications are now open for all women and femmes in speedrunning. Use !FF in Twitch chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info. Get your submissions in before November 19th, so you've got just a little bit of time left. You want to get those in if you're looking to submit. Your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching daily speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you are watching this on YouTube, which, at this point, hello, you are, be sure to press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then come on over to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick. The live shows are always a ton of fun, hopefully as you have just seen. And yet again, we've got Sanjen coming up just after this with a special showcase of Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. You don't want to miss it. It's such a cool speedrun. It's so much fun. Nori, any last thoughts?
No, again, just thank you for having me, Tina. You've been a long-time friend of mine in speedrunning, and it's always a pleasure to get to spend a little bit of time with you. So I appreciate you having me on here. Hope you all enjoyed Indivisible. And again, thank you to my community who... Again, we do 100% charity on all revenue on my stream. You guys have just knocked it out of the park this year. We've been supporting NAMI, so looking forward to continuing that with you guys. Without you, I wouldn't be doing this still. And that's really all I got to say. Thank you very much, GDQ, as well.
I think that we can leave it at that. Everyone, thank you for hanging out, and stick around because we've got more speedruns coming up.